Okay, so in the book, if anybody has this book, on page 36, there is 3/4 of the way down, it talks about letting it happen and not making it happen. And then it says, it is not trying hard. So can you talk about this concept of people who are trying harder? Because I see this on the line all the time. And they just think if they try harder that they'll do better. And that's not the case, right?
That's right. So this is an interesting way to look at it. It comes from self-image, something we don't talk about. Uh, you have to know who you are. You can't be guessing at it. And everybody who's taken my class has heard me do this little spiel, but it's not for them. It's always for me. And I use an acronym which is ACE, and I say I'm accurate, consistent, efficient, and disciplined. I understand the context of the situation, allowing me to perform at my current level of skill earned through practice. Which means nobody can talk anything to me ever in my life and change me. And it's very interesting. The number one predictor of skill has always been confidence. So there's an old book. It's written in 1966, and it was a rifle book, Lauterbach and somebody else that I can't remember. But they said the number one predictor of outcome was the confidence they had in their firing, whether they felt confident or not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're trying to encourage in self-image is true self-confidence. I have a
Not fake
diatribe against,
confidence.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's even worse when you tell me you're not any good at stuff.
Yeah.
We've all heard that speech in my class. If you come in and you hide who you are, you started a relationship with a lie. If I ask
Mm-hmm.
you you're a good shooter and you say I guess so or I'm not, and then I see that you are, I already know I have a problem, and you have a self-image problem. So, if I step forward in class and somebody said, "Are you a good shooter?" the answer would just be yes. They didn't ask me if I'm the greatest shooter in the world. They asked me if I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So the self-image can reply to that. Um, the self-image has to have a sacrifice of ego to overcome the plateau. So you have to let go of what you believe to be effective and do something efficient or less than your self-image or ego believes to be necessary. So that's
Whoa,
the
whoa,
answer
whoa.
to your
Say that
question.
again, Brian. Say
Yeah,
that
I
again.
know. I know. So let's go through this. You have to sacrifice ego to overcome plateaus. There's no other way around it. That's why you get angry before you make progress. You have,
Oh.
and I look forward to people getting upset
Yeah, I
because I
got
know
mad
that they're
one time
giving
and
up.
you were happy about it, and I couldn't
Yes,
figure out why.
because I'm a
Okay.
psycho. But that's when you're going to change. You're
Yeah,
tired of what? The same old status quo. It's no
right.
longer enough for you. So you're either going to change your shape or you're going to quit. Those are the only two choices you've left to yourself. That's why you're angry. All right. And knowing you're not going to quit. So you got a little angry, and I'm very happy because now the ego is on the chopping table. And we're going to try to let go of what we know or believe to be effective. And that's the biggest stumbling block in learning. And mostly it comes from movies.
Mm.
Almost everybody is being affected. And then it is platitudes, silly sayings that we have that have a kernel of truth, but are not contextually relative all the time. And we believe those to be important. And as long as the group is constantly saying these things, it can keep all of us at mediocrity. Ooh, there's one
Whoa.
of my nastyisms. Yep. So if you let go of what you think to be effective and do something efficient or less than yourself or your ego believes to be necessary, that's where you grow. Didn't expect all that, did you?
No,
That's a
I
tough
just
one.
think that we need just a minute to soak that in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't need to say anything. There
Mm-hmm.
needs to be a soak-in moment.
Well, people
Whew.
don't believe learning to be that. They believe it to be a repetition until suddenly the thing comes. And that's not how it works. All of you need to hear this. You're more than enough already. You can grow into any shape you want to be. We have neuroplasticity and mirror neurons for a reason. But you believe yourself to be fixed, And therefore you can limit your exposure to progress by believing something to be effective that's not, which is cognitive dissonance,
Mhm.
which was the beginning of this discussion, that you can believe two separate things even though you know one to be true and the other one not. And that's what holds us back in training. And shooting is a relatively simple physical skill. It is complex because of the time compression factors and the relative pattern recognition that has to be done in tenths of seconds. So we can't be talking to ourselves while we're doing it.
I know. Yeah, to truly do it correctly, you
Mhm.
can't. But it's hard to shut that off. So
Don't
speaking
shut
of
it off. Just let it be. Just
right,
don't
just
listen
don't
anymore.
give it any power is
Yeah.
what you're saying. You
Yeah.
don't give it
Yeah.
power. Yeah, that's
But
I
you give
think you're
yourself
right.
something to do. You got to have something to do.
Change your
So call your
focus.
dot.
Yeah.
See your dot, call your shot, and feel what's going on. And that's the only thing that's important. So I could care less about the outcome. I always want to do well. Uh, Adam can relate to this. You stand in front of 20 people and you've given the demonstrations a million times. There's still skin in the game, and you can screw
Yes.
this up. So I look forward to screwing it up now so that I can show them how you handle failure and a problem in front of a group of people while I'm under pressure. So what
Yeah.
I simply do is I say, all right, I didn't do as well as I wanted to. Here's what I'm going to change. Here's what was lacking in my prep. Watch how I do this. And then I shoot the drill again. If I
Mm.
affect a change, I say, good for me. That was enough. If I don't, I say, listen, my programming wasn't right. I'm missing something here. What did you guys see? And then they'll feed me the answer. And then I shoot it again and then everything's fine. So the real example in all this is what? The inner turmoil that we all go through and learning to find a clear goal so we can get present. That's it. If you can do that, that's what lets the voices go away and it allows you to trust yourself at a high level.